Guys, I just published a video on our secondary channel. The video is called Goku or Supreme Destroyer of Gods. I'll leave the link in the description and in the fixed comment of this video. If you're on a computer, open this new video in a new tab to watch. If you're on a cell phone, click on this video, like it, and subscribe to the secondary channel to watch it later. Don't forget to like this video. Thanks for your support. Let's go to our video.
This whole story would begin in the Tournament of Power. This is because the Great Priest had awakened an interest in the warrior Son Goku, so the entire Tournament of Power would focus on his total performance, but his astonishment grew much more when Son Goku was able to reach the perfect Ultra Instinct. I understand that due to the pressure he was able to reach the imperfect Ultra Instinct, but how was he able to reach the perfect Ultra Instinct over time? Goku had also lost that powerful state because his body was not able to assimilate all the incredible new power that came from his entire body. So the last three warriors had to unite their powers, being able to defeat Jiren, but sacrificing Frieza and Goku their participation in the Tournament of Power. So Android 17 had taken the victory of the Den-Shinan tournament, summoned the powerful god Salama, waiting for the wish of the winning participant. So the android had asked for the restoration of all the universes eliminated by the King of Everything. But this wish on his part was counterproductive because even in the future alternate Trunks Zamasu had returned to life, and even in the current timeline, the 6 destroyed universes had returned with each of their gods. All the warriors had entered their respective universes, but before Universe 7 left, both Zeno Sama had pounced on Goku, since they were both very happy for the participation of their best friend and the new power he had been able to achieve. I greatly appreciate your praise, although Jiren has not been a weak warrior at all, since we had to unite our powers to be able to defeat him. Lord Goku give you a few days to recover and go to your family, since I have a proposal for you. Okay Shinan, I will be waiting for your visit to planet Earth. The entire Universe 7 would leave for Earth, so all the warriors, including the deities, began to enjoy a great banquet, while Goku and Vegeta began a great fight with the intention that Goku be able to activate Ultra Instinct again. Activate Ultra Instinct.
Kakarot, I want to defeat you when you are using all your power. I cannot activate it at will, but I think if you are able to put me against the ropes, I will be able to activate it again. Both Saiyajins began with their great battle. However, a little annoying Beelzebub interposed himself in the battle of both, giving them a few blows, sending both to crash into a few mountains. Damn worms. They just fought in a tournament. Stop picking up the dust and come to eat, or I will eat all your food. Both Saiyajins headed to Bulma's house where everyone was present. After about 5 days, Goku was meditating in the mountains with the intention of being able to activate the Ultra Instinct, but it would be impossible for them. Oof, this has been much more difficult than I thought. I thought that with a simple meditation, it would be more than enough. Ho, ho, ho! Accessing the Ultra Instinct at will is one of the most complex trainings that exist. In fact, not even a god has been able to reach that state. But if you are Denshin Gasama, so you have really come. But tell me, what is that proposal that you want to offer me? Son Goku, I want to grant you the position of Omnipotent Angel, a position to which neither I have been able to reach, because my power, no matter how great it is not unlimited, but its ability to increase its power has no limit. Goku would be surprised by the new position they were offering him, but Denshin Gasama, what do I have to do with that position? You really don't have to do anything at all, but if a warrior appeared for which we are not even loved, let alone me, we are able to defeat. The Omnipotent Angel has to give an act of presence. Ha ha! I thought it would be something much more complicated. In that case, of course I accept, since I will even be able to become much more powerful. In that case, first of all, we have to raise your power to the maximum, so that later you will be able to dominate all the omnipotence of a divine being, so it will be better to leave us to the kingdom of everything, to start your new training. Haha, of course, I feel very motivated for this new training. Both left quickly to the kingdom of everything to start. However, the prince of the Saiyajins in the same way was not lagging behind, since this time, Vegeta had left for the planet of Beelzebub to continue with an arduous training with the help of Whis. Whis, I want the training to be much more demanding. I do not want to be left behind useless and cockroach. Mr. Vegeta, the training that I am granting you is the one that your body is capable of resisting. If I increase the intensity, you can die. I do not care to die. I am sure that my Satyajin body is capable of assimilating the new training. I do not want a low-class warrior to surpass me. I understand, Mr. Vegeta. From now on, we will increase the difficulty of your training, so I hope you are prepared. Thus, the difficulty of the training of the Prince of the Satyajins had increased, with which in only a few minutes most of his bones were completely destroyed. Meanwhile, in a line very different from the original, Zamasu had returned finding very confused. But at that moment, due to the great damage that Vegeta had caused him, the fusion had ended, returning to normality. Black and Zamasu. Ouch! That beating has been the most humiliating that we have received. Zamasu, we have to do something. I do not know how we have been able to return, but we have to take advantage of this opportunity. However, unlike Black, Zamasu was completely terrified by what would be denied something against the Divine Kingdom, which would make Black become enraged. And thanks to the body that Goku already possessed, his power had increased in a great way, being able to grant him a beating. I appreciate that you are immortal, since otherwise I would end your existence at this very moment, but I will look for a way to end your pathetic life. Returning to the present, the 6 universes that had returned after millions of years were very confused, especially the most powerful of all of them, since they had been unjustly eliminated. That damn dwarf, he thinks we are damn toys. I plan to end that miserable one, so be the last thing he does. I have to ask for the support of the other gods. But despite being the most powerful god, at the moment of standing up, large amounts of blood had come out of his entire body, so he would fall on his knees to the ground. So even if millions of years have passed, I am still affected by these damned wounds. It will be better to rest to fight those miserable ones when we have all of our powers. That's right, the 6 supreme gods were in the same conditions, since their power had worn out in an amazing way all this time, so it would take him approximately 6 months or a year to be back to normal, while Goku would continue with his great training, which this time the training he was carrying was an absolute madness, since he was even able to train with weights of millions of kilos while gravity was against him. It is amazing how he is able to move at a decent speed when he has those weights and gravity tries to crush him. It is time to move on to the next level. Denshinken would stop releasing his gravity just as he released Goku from the weights he carried all over his body, so Denshinken would face Goku. This time I want you to be able to activate a part of the Ultra Instinct, since even with that gravity, your inner energy would be able to calm down. Could it be that the gravity and pressure that was released had a double purpose? Indeed, and I trust that you will be able to activate at least one part of the Ultra Instinct. Goku would try to access the Ultra Instinct, however his attempts were useless because he needed a lot more concentration. However, what always characterized Goku is that he never gave up, so Goku would begin to concentrate by closing his eyes until at one point or another opened his eyes, being able to observe the silver color. However, despite his arduous training, he was only able to reach the imperfect Ultra Instinct, so at the moment, Goku would begin to approach Denshinken. Master, I have never fought against you. It is said that you are one of the 5 most powerful warriors in all the universes, and I would like to fight against you. Ho ho ho! I like that you think big, but I feel that it is something impossible for you. But of course I will fight with you, and I hope you are ready. Goku, with a very serious look, had swung against Denshinken, which was a bit surprised because despite not mastering the Ultra Instinct 100%, his power, speed, and power were overwhelming. I can't believe that this is only a part of the Ultra Instinct, since the power it is releasing is amazing. It seems from another world. Denshinken and Goku began to exchange blows, which Goku's power, as the battle progressed, began to increase. That's right, Goku's power seemed to have no limits. Denshinken had noticed this. This is too rare, since it does not matter who the warrior is, if he overloads his body, sooner or later he will end up exploding. But it seems that this logic does not possess the body of Son Goku. But Denshinken's words were true, since at the moment, Goku, as if he were a ray, would try to hit Denshinken, but he would fall to the ground with multiple wounds and hundreds of screams were heard throughout the kingdom of everything. So Zeno Sama left due to the uproar. Die! What is going on? Have you done something to my friend? Of course not, my lord, but Mr. Goku has taken his body to the limit. and it is something that surprises me since he was able to withstand a great energy load. Denshinken would begin to approach Goku, who at the time was able to help him to recover all of his energies, but even Denshinken was surprised to realize how his entire body seemed to have been completely destroyed. Goku, how have you taken your body to that limit? You can die. Do not worry, Denshinken. Although everything hurts, I have to improve every day, and I will only be able to do so if I take my body to the limit. Denshinken was able to heal each of his wounds. Meanwhile, on the planet of Beast, the training of the Prince of the Saiyajins in the same way was not lagging behind, since his power was having incredible results. Mr. Vegeta, the results you are obtaining are incredible, but I would love to know what your skill is in the battlefield. No matter how much my battle power has risen, if I compare myself to you, that power is absolutely nothing, Whis. I understand, Mr. Vegeta, but you will face Mr. Beerus, since even he wants to join the training. I hope you are a good rival, since otherwise I will leave you lying on the ground like the fly you are, since I am a god of destruction. I thought you were going to face me, Whis, but I have the confidence that I am able to defeat you. Don't make me laugh, Vegeta. That's something impossible for you, but I want to prove it, so attack me. The Prince of the Saiyajins would access the Super Saiyan Blue, which this time, his power was much more surprising. So instantly, a great light would be present everywhere. Beerus, being very confident, was unable to dodge a powerful blow from Vegeta, which the simple impact would raise him to dust. Beerus, recovering from the blow, was surprised to feel how large amounts of blood spread throughout his body. I swear I'm going to give you the humiliation of your life. Damned flyworm for nothing. Beerus would expel 90% of all his power, with which the entire 7th universe was trembling, since Beerus had released almost all his power, so at the moment, Vegeta would watch him firmly without being intimidated by such pressure. For me, it will be the greatest honor to face an equal battle against the god of destruction of my universe, so attack me, Beerus. The god Beerus of a great explosion would be present, with which his power had overflowed. At the moment, both began their great battle, which could not be observed to a clear winner, because both gave excellent blows. Meanwhile, in the future, Black was devising a plan to be able to return in search of revenge. I'm not going to stay with this damned humiliation. I will finish you all.
Black would expel all his power, destroying the little life that was around him. The confrontation between the two warriors was getting very even, so at the moment the god of destruction, a little annoyed, would decide to raise 100% of all his power, so he would begin to take advantage of the battle. Apparently, this battle will be from Mr. Beerus, since despite Mr. Vegeta having excellent results, he will never be compared to the power of Mr. Beerus. Vegeta this time would begin to receive a rain of blows from Beerus, which he was not able to do absolutely anything, so Beerus with a great blow was able to cause a great destruction everywhere due to the impact. It will be better if you give up, since you do not have the power to face me. I'm not going to give up. I have the power to defeat you, and I'm not going to retreat. Beerus moved at an incredible speed, being able to almost make Vegeta lose consciousness. At the moment, Vegeta would fall to the ground, returning to his base state, apparently without any energy. But Beerus, a little annoyed, would throw a small sphere of energy. That energy will not be able to finish you off, but it will teach you that sometimes it is better to bow your head and surrender. The furious Prince Saiyajin, and reflecting on his entire existence, would try to repel all that great energy, but it was useless. However, to everyone's surprise, Vegeta was able to absorb that energy, so his aura would become much more destructive, just like his ki had changed to a much more hostile form, since the pressure felt all over the place was incredible. The powerful Vegeta, with a loud scream, was able to access a new transformation that left Whis surprised. This is amazing. Apparently, Mr. Vegeta has been able to access the Ultra Ego, but I do not know how he has been able to achieve it. But Mr. Beerus seems to have been the trigger for him to be able to access this new state. Beerus would be a little amazed because he was not even able to move, since the same pressure of Vegeta was able to completely paralyze him. At the moment, the Prince of the Saiyajins would begin to approach the god Beerus, and while this happened, the entire planet would begin to be destroyed due to the great power that was released from Vegeta's body. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Goku had been able to recover in its entirety, so he would start training again, leaving Daishikan a little astonished due to the enthusiasm that Son Goku maintained in each of his trainings. This seems very unusual to me, since no warrior is capable of maintaining that enthusiasm throughout the training. Son Goku is really a very strange warrior. Daishikan, at the end of this training, I want to try to access the Ultra Instinct again, since I begin to understand how I can access that state. Ha ha ha. Okay, Mr. Goku. Mr. Goku thinks that state is a simple training. He needs much more than a training to master it. This latter would only think so since he did not want to demotivate Goku. Returning to the battlefield this time, Beerus, despite using all his power, was not able to do anything against Vegeta. That's right, although his anger was evident, he could not be compared to the incredible increase in power of the Prince of the Jinns. So Beerus this time would be thrown to the ground as if he were a simple worm. It would be better for you to give up, since it is better to accept when a warrior is much more powerful. Beerus would remember that he had said some similar words to him, which would make him rage much more. So he would stand up again, swinging against Vegeta, but to the surprise even of Whis, as if he were a million-year-old warrior, Vegeta was able to deliver a right blow to the back of his head, which made him completely lose consciousness. So Vegeta would take Beerus on one of his shoulders and begin to approach Whis. What do you think of this power, Whis? Do you think I can keep improving every day? He has left me speechless, Mr. Vegeta. It is a power that hardly a warrior is capable of reaching, and having the feat of defeating Mr. Beerus is much more, since no warrior has been able to achieve it. As I told you, Whis, we the Saiyans have no limit, no matter who our opponent is. Mr. Goku will be very surprised when he is able to realize his new power, since the Ultra Ego does not lose against the Ultra Instinct. This is getting more and more interesting, so I want to become much more powerful. Meanwhile, in the future, Black would also begin his arduous training to be able to have his revenge, and thanks to Goku's body, his power began to rise in a great way with each training he carried out. The best of all is that I was able to use the energy of destruction, and thus I was able to get rid of that useless Samus. Black at this time had been able to raise his power to the limit, so much so that he had even been able to take his body to the Super Saiyan 3 Rose power. So even Black was surprised. This power is amazing, but I am sure that the power of this damn Son Goku mortal is not limited to this, so I have to exceed my limits. But very far from that place, even in another timeline, the 6 gods that had come back to life had recovered in their entirety. But the first one to open his eyes was known as Buster, the killer god, because due to his character, he destroyed any warrior that stood in front of him. Finally, after millions of years, we have returned, and at the end of these months, I have been able to recover completely, and what I want is to fight. I know, I will end the life of the stupid Beerus and his angel. They have always seemed to me good for nothing. That powerful god would begin to move through each of the universes, reaching Universe 7 in an extremely short period, in which the god Beerus was just regaining knowledge. But an incredible pressure could be felt all over the place. Damn it, I remember this pressure, but that cannot be possible if you were eliminated by the King of Everything. He loves us. From a lightning, the new warrior had appeared in front of everyone, being a little surprised by the state in which Beerus was. Who has hit you? It is a shame that I am not that honorable warrior. I have returned after having spent millions of years, and I just want to end you. But a great pressure in the same way could be felt all over the place. That is, the pressure of the powerful Vegeta would be present in the battlefield. I will not let you end the life of Mr. Beerus, since we are training, but I will not let you take advantage of him being injured. You have much greater power than that of this stupid cat, but I want to end this worm, so no matter what you say or do, today everyone will die. Vegeta, being about to say something, would be thrown with a great blow, but said blow was able to cause him incredible damage, so much so that this time the Prince of the Saiyajins would vomit large amounts of blood. That is, the damage he had caused was incredible. What? How have you been able to cause me so much damage in one blow? I'm surprised that you were able to stand up, but I warned you, today if you had kept silent, you would not die. Now it doesn't matter. I'll end you too. Annoyed, Vegeta would expel rays from his entire body, raising his power to the limit, with which he had balanced against that god. So instantly, they both began to exchange millions of blows. But the difference in powers was evident, since Vegeta was not able to connect any blow that was effective. Whis, would this be bad? Vegeta would not be able to do anything against him. I wanted to heal me on my own, but help me. Between the two of us, we will be able to defeat that bastard. Whis with his baculum would heal all the wounds of Beerus, as he had restored all of Beerus's power. So at the moment, Beerus would join the battle. But to the surprise of both warriors, the god had caused a great explosion all over the place. So at the moment, he would begin to expel a large part of all his power. So like a flash, he was able to grant thousands of blows to both warriors that were left on the ground very badly wounded. Even Vegeta had returned to his base state this time. Being in terrible condition, Buster would begin to channel a large part of the power into the palm of his hands to be able to send them to another world. Insects will always be insects, so die, garbage. But Whis was able to deflect that powerful attack, being able to save both warriors. This time I will be your enemy. I will not let you get away with your damned worm. Whis and Buster were getting closer. That is, the battle of a god and an angel was about to begin. After only 5 seconds, both began to exchange thousands of blows. But in each exchange of blows, Whis would be very surprised, since to the surprise, Buster's blows increased in power as the battle went on, until at a certain point, he was able to defeat Whis by sending him to fly. Whis, despite possessing the ultimate instinct, had not been able to react by crashing into the surface of the planet. So Whis would stand up again. This god is extremely powerful, but I have not allowed myself to lose or give up. I will defeat him. Both warriors continued with their great battle. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Goku had been able to master the ultimate instinct, being able to access that state at will. But Daishikan on each occasion was more surprised by Goku's deduction. Some time ago, I decided to take the Super Saiyan as my base state to withstand much more energy load, so I plan to do the same with the ultimate instinct. At the moment, Goku would access the ultimate instinct, with which he would take it as his base state and continue with his great training. But in what Goku was capable of surpassing Daishikan was in the perception of ki. That's right, Goku would feel how Whis' ki began to decrease, just like Vegeta's power, and Beerus was about to disappear. I'm sorry, Master, but I have to go to Universe 7 in emergency, since Whis, even Vegeta, and Mr. Beerus are badly injured. Goku would use teleportation, but being so far, it would take him a few seconds.
But at the moment of arrival, he was surprised to realize how a warrior was holding Whis by the neck with the intention of ending his life. Don't worry, Vegeta. You yourself will be able to protect your family. This, I will never forgive you. Miserable. Goku, at a much higher speed, was able to pose in front of the warrior, and at the moment he would put one of his hands on his shoulder, being able to release a pressure that would force him to release Whis, so Goku would hold Whis. Please resist. At this moment I will heal each of your wounds. Whis would try to speak since Buster was on Goku's back, but to his surprise, a great shadow would be released from Goku's entire body, so he had given him a big blow that would make him fall to the ground with multiple wounds all over his body. Goku at the moment would begin to repair each of his veins of energy and would transmit a little of his power, being enough for Whis to be out of danger. Whis, take care of Vegeta and Mr. Beerus. Of course, Mr. Goku. But what are you going to do? Not even I, being an angel, have been able to beat him. Don't worry, Whis, since this worm is not capable of doing anything against me.
Whis would help both warriors recover, so Vegeta would stare at Goku looking a little terrified, since in all his aura a gigantic Oozaru was able to observe himself. Buster, when recovering from the blow, would try to bounce against him, but at the moment Goku was facing him. I don't care who the hell you are, but with the simple intention of having wanted to end one of my friends, I will end your pathetic life. Goku at the moment would release a little more of his power in the ultimate instinct, which left everyone surprised since the power that expelled Goku outweighed an angel with great ease. The power that Goku was releasing would leave everyone surprised since none of them had understood that Son Goku's power had dispersed in that way, so that at the end of increasing his power he would begin to walk towards the god, who on this occasion, after millions of years, felt how his body asked him to flee the battlefield. That's right, his instincts were not able to remain against that powerful warrior. What have you done, damn it? I doubt your power is capable of making me tremble. It must be a technique of yours that affects the dominion of a warrior. I haven't used any technique yet. If you're afraid, it's because you don't have the power to face me, because you're a damned worm. The powerful god has swung against Goku, but to everyone's surprise, Goku with a single movement was able to dodge each of his blows, so he would connect a great kick. At first glance it seems a normal kick, but he had made him crash into the planet, causing a great destruction everywhere. You can't fool me. I'm sure that wasn't a simple kick. Since the power he possessed, I'm sure he had the power to destroy half the universe. The god, after millions of years, had expelled blood from his body, which would make him grow much more, swinging against Goku. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Denshin-Khan was a bit thoughtful, not knowing what had happened. It will be better to go to Universe 7 since I can feel how two great powers are facing each other, but one of them is very familiar to me. Denshin-Khan would quickly reach Universe 7, getting on one side of Whis, but before Whis was able to say anything, Denshin-Khan was amazed to realize who he was facing against Goku. This is impossible. If it's Buster, the killer god, one of the 6 super gods renegades. Whis, how has Buster been able to be in this universe? Father, I really don't know how he has been able to return since he has only arrived with the intention of ending Mr. Beerus' life. I understand, but if Buster has come back to life, that means that the rest of the Renegades gods must have come back to life in the same way. But they would be taken out of their thoughts when they realized how Goku would fall to the ground with great power, creating a great crater all over the place. Kakarot, I can't believe you've been defeated. I'm sure you have a lot more to show. I trust you. A great silver and blue light would expand throughout the crater while its power increased again. That's right, its power seemed to have no limits. Thank you for your words, Vegeta, but this pathetic god has no power to defeat me. Goku, as if he were a flash, had even disappeared for the sake of everyone, with the exception of Denshin-Khan. The speed with which Mr. Goku moves is incredible. I can't believe he has achieved all that power in this short period of time. He really is the chosen one for the position of the omnipotent angel, the power that I could never dominate. Goku this time as a true Zodiac would begin to destroy each of his bones, as well as the veins through which he transported the energy. That's right, after a few minutes, Buster, one of the most powerful gods among the 18 universes, was on the ground as if he were a single child, because each of his energy veins had been completely destroyed. Even this time, even a mortal with some knowledge in battle would be able to defeat him. Damn it, and my life. I can't stand the fact that I have lost all my power. This can't be happening to me, damn it. You are not in a position to decide what we will do with you, but my master has several questions to ask you, so after answering, I can even think of returning your power. Buster, hoping that his powers had returned, would prostrate himself to Denshin-Khan. Powerful Denshin-Khan Sama, I am sorry if I have disrespected you in coming to this universe, but you can ask me any question and I promise to answer with all sincerity. Have you only returned to life, or did the other 5 remaining gods also return to life? We have all returned to life, Denshin-Khan Sama. I understand. When did you return to life? Is it recent? Hypothetically, of course it is recent, but we are talking about 8 months approximately in which we have returned to life. At the moment, Whis would remember the wish of Android 17, which consisted in each of the universes eliminated by Zeno Sama returning to life, so he would tell his father quickly. That was the wish that made all the universes return to life. Damn it. Last question. Why did you return to life 8 months ago? You just made your appearance.
We are recovering all of our power in its entirety, but I wanted to have a little fun with the useless Beerus like in the olden days. Goku would begin to approach Buster, who was hoping that his power had returned since he had collaborated in everything Goku had asked for, but he was surprised to see that the hand of Goku was pointing it completely. I appreciate your collaboration, and right now I plan to leave your power and your very existence completely destroyed, so I will send you to the other world. The god, before being able to say anything, would be evaporated by all the incredible attack of Goku. Whis, instead of respecting Goku, would begin to have an incredible terror, since even Whis had been defeated while Goku seemed to have not taken the slightest difficulty. Goku, how have you been able to get all that power? Mr. Beerus, don't worry. I'm the same as always, and answering your question, I've been training with Denshinkan all this time. Beerus along with Whis were surprised since it was the first time in all existence in which Denshinkan trained a mortal. This is a very bad news, so Beerus and Whis train and in the same way train their most powerful warriors. Since this will be a real war, I will inform all the other gods and angels. Denshinkan, along with Goku, had left for the Kingdom of Everything, which at the moment of arrival, Denshinkan would begin to expand the communication to each of the divinities of the 12 universes. Meanwhile, in the 6 exiled universes, the most powerful god, Keishi, had opened his eyes after 8 months, in which he had been able to regain his power in its entirety, even increasing it in an incredible way. For that reason, even Denshinkan feared my power. Everything around him was being destroyed since after spending millions of years without expelling any of his power, he was not able to keep it under control. So at the moment of realizing all the destruction in his universe, he was able to diminish a large part of all his power, but he was surprised to feel the power of only 4 of his other companions. The power that is missing is that of the useless bastard. That damn impatient can never stay still. I just hope he has not sought problems with any god.
But a large sphere of dark energy would stand in front of Keiichi. It was the last bit of divine soul that Buster was able to collect to inform his other companions. My brother, I apologize. I have not been able to follow your instructions and I have lost my life. In Universe 7. Keiichi was surprised but wondered who the warrior was and being able to defeat a super god, since even the angels were not able to face them. Please take care of a Saiyan, since I was able to defeat the god and the angel, but a Saiyan that even reached the Ultra Instinct crushed me in its entirety. The divine soul would end, so at that moment Buster would be eliminated in its entirety, since the divine soul was a small essence of his true being. Damn it, a Saiyan is not capable of comparing himself to our power. That must be a damn joke. We have to be prepared for everything that is coming. Keiichi would begin to move through each of the universes of his other companions, realizing that everything is under control. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the Whole, Denshinkan, he was very distressed, which would attract Goku's attention. Master, why are you so worried? I've been able to defeat that god without any difficulty, and his power is much greater than mine. Son Goku, really, none of the gods is a problem, even Keiichi, whose power seems to have no limits. What is really dangerous is what is hidden in the confines of the 18 universes. But before they are both able to continue talking, a great portal would remain in the Kingdom of the Whole. That's right, it was Black Goku who had been able to find the Room of Time, obtaining incredible results in a short period of time. But if you are black, how the hell are you still alive? If Zeno Sama ended your existence, don't tell me that the future was also affected by desire. I don't know what desire you mean, but I only know that I have come back to life, and this time I intend to end your miserable life, so get ready! Black had transformed into Super Saiyan Rose Phase 3, and the power it released was amazing, so much so that his power was compared to the power of a guardian angel, but for Goku it was not an amazing power, so instantly they both began to exchange thousands of blows throughout the Kingdom of the Whole. However, Goku was able to completely dominate Black, so Goku with a big hit was able to do what was on the ground. What the hell is that transformation? I feel like your fists look like steel. Did you forget what Vegeta said? It doesn't matter that you have been able to steal my body. You will never be able to get 100% of all my potential. For your information, there is something in what you are completely wrong, since it doesn't matter what happens. If you spend so many years with this body, you make it yours, and I enter the Room of Time. Black would at the moment begin to expel a surprising color from his entire body. So with a loud scream, he was able to access the perfect Ultra Instinct, leaving all those present surprised. So really, Son Goku's body is special, since again you have been able to reach the Ultra Instinct, a state to which most of the gods aspire, but they are not able to achieve it. Everywhere you could see how a great white light with pink was rising throughout the battlefield. At the moment, you could see Black Goku in the perfect Ultra Instinct. So at that moment, both Saiyans began to exchange millions of blows, having a very even battle. But for his part, in the 6 universes, Keiichi had realized that the only low had been Blaster. Damn it, that happens to him for being in a hurry. But we can't do anything anymore. We just have to prepare. But in front of Keiichi, a beautiful woman would appear. That's right, a woman with red hair, and her power was incredible. Keiichi, I don't know what we're waiting for, but I want to rip the head of the stupid of the kingdom of everything, since he has eliminated us as if we were simple garbage. And after millions of years, he brings us to life. I understand how you feel, Iris, but I want you to stay calm, since Blaster has been annihilated, and we do not know what warrior was able to achieve such a feat. I can't believe you're scared by the death of Blaster. You better than anyone else knew that that miserable good-for-nothing is not able to compare with our powers. I know, Iris, but despite that, it is amazing that a common and ordinary being has been able to defeat him. So retire and wait for my order. Iris annoyingly would go to her universe. Returning to the battlefield, she would seem to be very equal. However, the more she advanced, Goku would begin to take advantage, because the body of Black Goku was suffering all the damage from activating the Ultra Instinct for the first time, which Goku, without wasting time, would take advantage of, beginning to give him a rain of blows, later charging a great attack. With this attack, there would be no ashes left of you, so I hope you are ready to die. Goku would throw his powerful attack, but to Black's surprise, he was able to survive, but his body was completely destroyed. But to his surprise, he had been able to reach Universe 18, due to the fact that Goku's powerful attack had created a 3-dimensional hole. So, Keiichi would notice a very tiny key going quickly. This warrior seems to be very powerful, but a much stronger warrior has been able to leave him in this condition. I am sure it will be a great support. Keiichi would release a bit of his power with the intention of healing each of Black's wounds. Keiichi, with his great spiritual power, was able to make Black fully recover. However, despite having recovered each of his wounds, his brain would have suffered a great trauma due to the authentic power of Son Goku, so he had not been able to wake up. Keiichi would leave with Black to Universe 18, in which at the moment of arrival, he would begin to meditate and analyze the whole situation. This is very strange. Millions of years ago, there were no such powerful warriors. The power of this warrior is capable of defeating an angel. But for him to have remained in these conditions, that means that his opponent must have been a beast. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of the whole, Denshinkan, he was very distressed, which would attract Goku's attention. Master, why are you so worried? I have been able to defeat that god without any difficulty, and his power is much greater than mine. Son Goku, really none of the gods is a problem. Even Keiichi, whose power seems to have no limits. What is really dangerous is what is hidden in the confines of the 18 universes. But before they are both able to continue talking, a great portal would remain in the kingdom of the whole. That's right, it was Black Goku who had been able to find the Room of Time, obtaining incredible results in a short period of time. But if you are Black, how the hell are you still alive? If Zeno Sama ended your existence, don't tell me that the future was also affected by desire. I don't know what desire you mean, but I only know that I have come back to life, and this time I intend to end your miserable life, so get ready. Black had transformed into Super Saiyan Rose Phase 3, and the power it released was amazing, so much so that his power was compared to the power of a guardian angel. But for Goku, it was not an amazing power, so instantly they both began to exchange thousands of blows throughout the kingdom of the whole. However, Goku was able to completely dominate Black, so Goku with a big hit was able to do what was on the ground. What the hell is that transformation? I feel like your fists look like steel. Did you forget what Vegeta said? It doesn't matter that you have been able to steal my body, you will never be able to get 100% of all my potential. For your information, there is something in what you are completely wrong, since it doesn't matter what happens. If you spend so many years with this body, you make it yours, and I enter the room of time. Black would at the moment begin to expel a surprising color from his entire body. So, with a loud scream, he was able to access the perfect Ultra Instinct, leaving all those present surprised. So really, Son Goku's body is special, since again you have been able to reach the Ultra Instinct, a state to which most of the gods aspire, but they are not able to achieve it. At the moment, you could see Black Goku in the perfect Ultra Instinct, so at that moment, both Saiyans began to exchange millions of blows, having a very even battle. But for his part, in the 6 universes, Keiichi had realized that the only low had been Blaster. Damn it, that happens to him for being in a hurry, but we can't do anything anymore. We just have to prepare. But in front of Keiichi, a beautiful woman would appear. That's right, a woman with red hair, and her power was incredible. Keiichi, I don't know what we're waiting for, but I want to rip the head of the stupid of the kingdom of everything, since he has eliminated us as if we were simple garbage. And after millions of years, he brings us to life. I understand how you feel, Iris, but I want you to stay calm, since Blaster has been annihilated, and we do not know what warrior was able to achieve such a feat. I can't believe you're scared by the death of Blaster. You better than anyone else knew that that miserable good-for-nothing is not able to compare with our powers. I know, Iris, but despite that, it is amazing that a common and ordinary being has been able to defeat him. So retire and wait for my order. Iris annoyingly would go to her universe. Returning to the battlefield, she would seem to be very equal. However, the more she advanced, Goku would begin to take advantage, because the body of Black Goku was suffering all the damage from activating the Ultra Instinct for the first time, which Goku, without wasting time, would take advantage of, beginning to give him a rain of blows, later charging a great attack. With this attack, there would be no ashes left of you, so I hope you are ready to die. Goku would throw his powerful attack, but to Black's surprise, he was able to survive, but his body was completely destroyed. But to his surprise, he had been able to reach Universe 18, due to the fact that Goku's powerful attack had created a 3-dimensional hole. So, Keiichi would notice a very tiny key going quickly. This warrior seems to be very powerful, but a much stronger warrior has been able to leave him in this condition. I am sure it will be a great support. Keiichi would release a bit of his power with the intention of healing each of Black's wounds. Keiichi, with his great spiritual power, was able to make Black fully recover. However, despite having recovered each of his wounds, his brain would have suffered a great trauma due to the authentic power of Son Goku, so he had not been able to wake up. Keiichi would leave with Black to Universe 18, in which at the moment of arrival, he would begin to meditate and analyze the whole situation. This is very strange. Millions of years ago, there were no such powerful warriors. The power of this warrior is capable of defeating an angel, but for him to have remained in these conditions, that means that his opponent must have been a beast. Meanwhile, in Universe 15, a beautiful maiden, the beautiful goddess Siri, was very impatient as she longed for destruction, but in the same way her instinct did not allow her to move freely, knowing that Master had been annihilated. Returning to the kingdom of everything, Goku had returned to his base state, so he was meditating at the top of a mountain. That's right, Goku had been able to unlock a new power, since there were few warriors who could increase their power thanks to meditation, and the few who were able to do so were able to rise above all the other warriors, since they did not need death battles to rise much more. I am surprised by the power that Mr. Goku has achieved in this short period of time. I am not able to assimilate it. He will be the most powerful omnipotent angel in all of existence. At the moment, an incredible pressure would fall on all of the kingdom of everything. That pressure was even capable of making us panic, since the power that was released did not lose with the power of a king of everything. Who is the being that emanates all that power? I can't believe he's even capable of making each of my limbs tremble. But he was surprised to realize how an incredible power was overflowing from Goku's body, even so much so that a galaxy had been created under him. But his impression grew much more when he realized how at the top of everything, an energy sphere the size of a sun was approaching. but the whole place would become a chaos when he realized how Goku released more power and would observe that attack with great determination. It's time. I've meditated enough time, so come to me, power of all the 12 universes, and help me rise much more. That great energy sphere began to enter Goku's entire body. That's right, the power of the 2 universes began to enter each of his veins of energy. But due to this, his muscles had grown in an exceptional way, so he was not even able to move freely, much less be able to fight. Mr. Goku, the power you possess is amazing, but please stop. With that excess of energy, your body will explode into thousands of pieces. Friend, I'm glad you want to make an effort every day, and that you try to be the most powerful warrior in all the universes, but I don't want you to die. Don't worry, today won't be the day of my death, since I'm prepared for this and more. I possess the power of a warrior race. I know my body is capable of withstanding it. Goku would continue with the absorption of all that great power. This time, even all that power could be felt by the 18 universes, which would make 4 renegade super gods panic, while their leader would take a very serious look. I'm sure the warrior who was releasing all that power was the one who ended Blaster's life and left this warrior in terrible condition. While all the other gods were not able to stand on their own, so their angels had to create energy barriers so that pressure would not be able to end their lives. This is amazing. Mr. Goku, despite being millions of kilometers away, is able to emanate this great pressure as if he were in front of us. I can't believe that power belongs to Goku. Since when was he able to become so powerful? Damn it, insect, but this only gives me more determination to become a much more powerful being, so I hope you are prepared, miserable insect, since the Prince of the Saiyans is not going to stay behind you. Vegeta at great speed had headed towards Whis and Beerus, which both were a little surprised since Vegeta was able to move with that great pressure. Mr. Vegeta, doesn't your body hurt due to the great pressure that Mr. Goku releases? Of course it hurts, Whis. I feel like each of my bones are completely destroyed, but it doesn't matter since if the useless Kakarot is able to reach these limits, I'm sure I'm able to do the same. Do you want me to train you despite this great pressure is affecting this whole planet? That's right, Whis. I want you to please train me since I don't want to be left behind by that insect. You have left me surprised, Mr. Vegeta, but of course we will. Don't worry. Right now we will start this new training. I still want to train. I don't want another trash to be able to surpass my power. I am a god of destruction. But although Beerus' will was unbreakable, his power was not able to back him up, since the moment Whis stopped giving him energy to his barrier, Beerus would fall to the ground, very badly wounded, and to the brink of death due to the simple pressure. Damn it. I can't believe I, the powerful uncle of destruction, have been humiliated in such a disgusting way. Vegeta would approach Beerus, but Beerus instantly felt like his whole body was completely relieved, raising his gaze, observing how Vegeta had given him a little of his energy to be able to move. Vegeta, we are warriors, and we have to do our best. I count on you, since I'm sure that with the desire of Android 17, much more powerful warriors have come back to life.
And Vegeta was right, since one of the main reasons why Denshin-kan was very nervous was because of the awakening of a warrior who slept in Universe 16, but although he ended up with the body of that warrior, his essence was watered down by the 6 most powerful universes, that is, from Universe 13 to Universe 18. For that reason, Zeno Sama had made the decision to exterminate the 6 universes, but with the desire of Android, they feared that this imposing warrior would have resurrected in the same way. When Son Goku is able to control himself, we will have to do the ritual of ascension to Omnipotent Angel, since although 2 days have passed, Son Goku continues to release more power. That's right, Son Goku continued with the expulsion of all his power, so after 20 more hours, you could see how the energy was concentrated in one place, while it became much more tiny. That's right, Goku had been able to control 100% of the power of the 12 universes, but so that his speed was not compromised, he even had to evolve, since instantly you could see a Goku with long hair, while his power, despite being at rest, was able to double any warrior. Son Goku, is it really you? The power you have achieved is incredible. I am not able to assimilate it. I do not know if I am able to defeat you even if I use my maximum power. The power of my friend Goku has grown in an incredible way. He will be the most powerful omnipotent angel of all that exists. Of course it's me, Denshin-kan, and I would like to test my new power with you, Denshin-kan. What do you think? We have a training battle like in the old days. It would be great for me to stretch my muscles a little, so I agree. Goku would start walking towards Denshinkan until he was face to face, so instantly, as if they were flashes, they both began to exchange millions of blows everywhere. His speed was so high that even an angel would not be able to observe anything. Zeno Sama was fascinated with the battle that was taking place since the last great battle had been in the Power Tournament. Goku had been able to connect a powerful blow, being able to send it to an inhospitable planet, destroying it by the power of impact. Apparently, my power has grown in a great way. I'm sorry if I hurt you. Denshinkan began to recover from that blow, but was surprised when he realized that of all his power, large amounts of blood were spreading everywhere, which had left him surprised. I cannot believe the power that has been able to get Mr. Goku. Even one of his blows has been able to make me bleed. Denshinkan would recover completely, so he had launched again against Goku. However, Denshinkan, having much more experience in combat, would begin to double Goku with his simple defense, since every time Goku attacked him, Denshinkan was able to inject tiny portions of his ki, so Goku's speed would begin to decrease considerably, which Denshinkan would take advantage of. Meanwhile, in Universe 18, Keiichi tries to observe that great battle with an energy sphere, however he was not able to achieve it because in the magnetic field of both energies did not allow that the crystal sphere support such pressure. Apparently, that warrior is able to stay in a fair battle with the Great Priest, but this must be impossible since it is a simple mortal. This cannot be happening. But anyway, Black would release all his power, but this time something very different would happen. Since at the moment, Black would begin to suffer a great transformation while his power grew without stopping, Keiichi would be surprised by the release of power of that warrior, but Black, being a divine being, was able to dominate the state of the Saru. That's right, in his training, Black had been able to recover the tail of Goku's body, but the power of Keiichi was the trigger to be able to access that state, so Black was able to dominate his beast state, being able to access the Super Saiyan phase for Rose, but the power he unleashed was a complete madness, which even amazed Keiichi. The power that this warrior releases is incredible. I can't believe he was able to be defeated. That warrior is really very dangerous. What happened to me? I was defeated by that damn monkey? How is it possible that he is in this place? Have I died? But Black would feel a surprising pressure on his back, so he would turn quickly. That's right, Keiichi would release his pressure in case that warrior tried to attack him, but Keiichi's pressure was much bigger than Black's pressure. Even the pressure Goku had used against Black. So Black, despite his new power, felt like the pressure of that warrior was able to double it completely. I can see how you have thousands of questions, but I have been able to heal each of your wounds as well as I have helped you possess all that new power. I really appreciate it. I can see how you possess the divine energy its maximum splendor, so please help me become more powerful to be able to end the life of that damned. First, I want you to tell me everything that has happened. Who are you referring to? I feel like you have a great power. How have you been defeated?
Black would begin to tell everything that has happened since he was defeated in the past, until he came back to life and was defeated again by Son Goku, while both warriors were still with their great fight, but this time, Daishinkan had decided to use all his power. So Goku was surprised, but instantly a big smile was drawn on Daishinkan's face. Son Goku, you are an extremely powerful warrior, but you still need a lot of power for you to be able to defeat me. That's right. Daishinkan instantly was able to cause a small explosion in all the veins of Goku's energy, just leaving him out of combat. Son Goku's power will be key for the fight against the renegade super gods. Goku's power had increased in an amazing way, which would make Daishinkan very happy, because his power would be of great help. However, in the Universe 18, Keiichi, the most powerful god, would be granting a rigorous training to Black Goku so that he is able to become much more powerful and be at the level of a priest or even superior. But to Black Goku possess the original body of Goku and fully combine his learning level was incredible, since he was able to increase his power in an extremely fast way, which would leave Keiichi very surprised. In all my years of existence, I have never met a warrior who is able to increase his power in this way. It's hard to believe, because Black's power in each training was getting bigger and bigger. It seemed that his power did not have any limit.
When I see Son Goku useless again, I'm sure this time I will be able to make him sad with my powers. But like Black Goku was getting an incredible power for his part in the Universe 7, the Prince of the Saiyans likewise had submitted to a rigorous training, with which he wanted to be able to overcome each of his limits, because he did not want to be so behind the power of his greatest rival. I will not let that damned worm be able to beat me. I will also be able to overcome all my limits. The training of the Prince of the Saiyans was of an incredible level, since even Whis would be surprised by the resistance he was able to possess. Vegeta's body. I cannot believe the pain that is able to bear the body of Mr. Vegeta, because not even a god of destruction would be able to bear it. Whis, no matter what situations or conditions you see me in, I do not want you to decrease your pressure. On the contrary, increase it much more. I'm sure I can overcome all my limits as a Saiyajin. Mr. Vegeta, I understand, but let me inform you that with the help of my scale, I have been investigating. There is a transformation beyond the Ultra Ego. Is there a level beyond the Ultra Ego? Tell me, Whis, what do I have to do?
First, you need to possess your Saiyan tail, since thanks to your tail you will be able to release all the power of an Oozaru. Damn it, I must go to planet Earth quickly to be able to ask you for the wish to rebuild my tail. Do not worry, Mr. Vegeta, I can make your tail grow again. Whis, with the help of his baculum, was able to make the tail of the Prince of the Saiyans grow again. However, Vegeta would not notice any change. Do not worry, Mr. Vegeta, since this time is when the new training begins. The new training of the Prince of the Saiyans would start, but this time for his body and power to dominate his Saiyan tail again. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Goku, by dominating all his power with one last scream, had acceded to a new transformation, thanks to which he was also able to assimilate the power of the 12 universes. But this time his characteristic long hair in Super Saiyan Phase 3 had disappeared, since his current state was very similar to the Ultra Instinct. But Daisen-kan and Zeno Sama, who were waiting for Goku's awakening, were amazed when they observed how several gants began to appear throughout Goku's body. This is impossible. What kind of body does Mr. Goku have? I cannot believe he has been able to reach such a state, which only the first Saiyan God was able to achieve. That's right, millions of years ago, a powerful warrior with the maximum power of his Oozaru was able to do the same transformation that Goku had been able to access. But due to all that power, the warrior had exploded into 1,000 pieces by not controlling all his power. But it was the opposite for Goku, since at the moment Goku would expel all his retained power with a loud scream, shaking each planet of the 18 universes. The power that my friend Goku has is incredible. I'm sure it's much bigger than my current power. I cannot believe the power I have. Seconds later, it was possible to observe a completely different Goku, which this time even his appearance was able to intimidate any warrior. Woof, I have been tired, but I have finally been able to master all this power. I'm ready, Daisen-kan Sama, for the ascent to Angel Omnipotent. Daisen-kan would be surprised by all the power that Goku was releasing, even though he was only in his ace state. Goku, you're amazing. I can't believe the power you have now. I think only I in my form of combat would be able to beat you. Oh, Zeno Sama, do you have a combat strength? Ha, I didn't know that. Haha, that's right, friend, but I don't usually use it. I've only used it once and I'm not able to control my catastrophic power. I would like to be able to fight you, Zeno Sama. Please, I want to know if all the power I have achieved is at the level of a king of everything, or still missing. Haha, I knew you would say something like that, friend, and that's fine. I have the confidence that you will be able to withstand each of my blows. My lord, it's a terrible idea. Even though Goku has achieved all that great power, I doubt he will be able to withstand each of his blows. Haha, don't worry, Daisen-kan, and I want you to observe what my power really is capable of doing. Daisen-kan would move away, so he would release a powerful divine artifact so that the battle is not perceived by any universe and there is no destruction on the other planets. Zeno Sama would at the moment begin to access his combat state. The distortions of his power would leave Goku surprised because the power he was able to emanate, Goku was not able to understand it. When Zeno Sama finished his transformation, without prior notice, he had launched himself against Goku, who was only able to see a brief flash, being sent to fly, falling onto few mountains. Haha, apparently, even though you have achieved all that great power, you still do not compare yourself with my combat state. Goku standing up, too much blood would come out of all his body, which had left him surprised. But with a big smile, he had launched himself against Zeno Sama, beginning to exchange blows with the King of Everything, something that was amazing because no warrior had ever seen before had been able to compare himself with the power of a King of Everything. Meanwhile, in the Universe 7, Prince Vegeta had been able to dominate his state of Oozaru again, completely dominating him. Curus, I have been able to dominate my state of Oozaru in its entirety. What should I do now? At this moment, I want you to return to your base state and transform into an Oozaru. Vegeta would obey the instructions of his master, so at the same time he would create a small artificial moon in one of his hands with which he was able to access his state of Oozaru. Now that I'm transformed, what do I do? My power is much smaller than when I access the Ultra Instinct. Haha, your Saiyans are impatient. Have the required control and follow my instructions. Now I want you to try to access the Ultra Instinct. No, hey Whis, that's impossible. I'm in my state of Oozaru. Accessing the Ultra Instinct is impossible for me. Will he let Mr. Goku be able to surpass the Prince of the Saiyans? Vegeta, with his great determination, would begin to turn all his fur into a purple color. That's right, while his power was being perceived by the 18 universes. A new power in the same way gigantic has become present. Damn it, how in this time there are so many gods of so much power? That power could be recognized anywhere. It is Vegeta's stupidity. Although his power has grown in an incredible way, it is not compared with my authentic power. Prince Vegeta, being able to access his state of Ultra Ego while he was in his state of Oozaru, was going to Whis to give him the following information about his training. But all of Vegeta's body would begin to transform twice or even triple the energy, of which Vegeta would be aware, so all of Vegeta's body would begin to shrink. Vegeta would try to reverse it, but he would be taken out of his thoughts by the words of Whis. It's time, Mr. Vegeta. Your own body has been able to access a new level, so you need a new state to master all the power. Vegeta would begin to expel much more power while his body returned to normal. A small light would form in all of Universe 7, so that at the moment you can see the Prince of the Saiyans in the powerful Ultra Ego Phase 4. Wow, this is incredible. I never thought I would be able to reach this level, but Whis, I feel like the energy wear is immense. Even though I'm just talking to you, the wear is huge. It is what happens with each transformation that possesses the power beyond a god. But do not worry, since with the training we will be able to eliminate that weak point. Vegeta would start with one of his final trainings with Whis because Vegeta's power this time was able to face off 100% of the Angel Whis, so he should soon train on his own to be able to get good results. Returning to the Kingdom of Everything, the battle between the two warriors was incredible because none of them wanted to give up. And although it seems incredible, Goku was able to mediate a fair battle with the King of Everything. However, Goku, having recently accessed that state, the wear of energy would play against him, so that Zeno Sama was able to take advantage of this opening, managing to leave him out of combat with a single blow. Haha, that was funny. It's better to have a battle to yourself instead of just watching it. After a while in a pentagram, it was possible to observe Goku, who was being prepared to be officially named as the Omnipotent Angel Saiyan. With the authority of the King of Everything, and with the power that this Saiyan possesses, I, the priest of this multiverse, grant Son Goku the power of an omnipotent angel, being able of his body to dominate the power beyond a prodigy angel. Hundreds of wires of energy began to surround all of Son Goku's body, just like a powerful barrier began to be placed all over his body, or it was the impression of what it was. Denshin-Kan along with Zeno Sama likewise observe everything with amazement, being the first omnipotent angel of his multiverse. I am proud of my disciple. The position that I was never able to possess, Goku will be able to achieve it, and I am sure he will surpass any omnipotent angel. After a few minutes of a great light, it was possible to observe Goku with a new outfit, which looked like the outfit of an angel, but with several golden marks, so that his charge was different. It is a pleasure to see what you have become, my friend, the new omnipotent Angel Saiyan. With the power that I possess, it does not matter if the renegade gods have returned or even the beast of the 18 universes. Your power as an omnipotent angel is incredible. But Goku would put a very serious look. Right? Apparently a gigantic power continues in constant growth in the 18th universe. Denshin-Kan, please gather all the gods and angels. Before this is more dangerous, we have to get down to business. Denshin-Kan with great mental power would be able to communicate with all the gods and angels. So each god along with his angel had headed to the Kingdom of Everything at great speed. So at the moment you can see the Prince of the Saiyans in the powerful Ultra Ego Phase 4. Wow, this is incredible. I never thought I would be able to reach this level, but Whis, I feel like the energy wear is immense. Even though I'm just talking to you, the wear is huge. It is what happens with each transformation that possesses the power beyond a god. But do not worry, since with the training we will be able to eliminate that weak point. Vegeta would start with one of his final trainings with Whis, because Vegeta's power this time was able to face 100% of the Angel Whis, so he should soon train on his own to be able to get good results. Returning to the Kingdom of Everything, the battle between the two warriors was incredible, because none of them wanted to give up. And although it seems incredible, Goku was able to mediate a fair battle with the King of Everything. However, Goku, having recently accessed that state, the wear of energy would play against him, so that Zeno Sama was able to take advantage of this opening, managing to leave him out of combat with a single blow. Haha, that was funny. It's better to have a battle to yourself instead of just watching it. After a while in a pentagram, it was possible to observe Goku, who was being prepared to be officially named as the Omnipotent Angel Saiyan. With the authority of the King of Everything and with the power that this Saiyan possesses, I, the priest of this multiverse, grant Son Goku the power of an omnipotent angel, being able of his body to dominate the power beyond a prodigy angel. Hundreds of wires of energy began to surround all of Son Goku's body, just like a powerful barrier began to be placed all over his body, or it was the impression of what it was. Denshin-kan along with Zeno Sama likewise observe everything with amazement, being the first omnipotent angel of his multiverse. I am proud of my disciple. The position that I was never able to possess, Goku will be able to achieve it, and I am sure he will surpass any omnipotent angel. After a few minutes of a great light, it was possible to observe Goku with a new outfit, which looked like the outfit of an angel, but with several golden marks, so that his charge was different. It is a pleasure to see what you have become, my friend, the new omnipotent Angel Saiyan. With the power that I possess, it does not matter if the renegade gods have returned, or even the beast of the 18 universes. Your power as an omnipotent angel is incredible. But Goku would put a very serious look, right? Apparently a gigantic power continues in constant growth in the 18th universe. Denshin-kan, please gather all the gods and angels. Before this is more dangerous, we have to get down to business. Denshin-kan with great mental power would be able to communicate with all the gods and angels, so each god along with his angel had headed to the Kingdom of Everything at great speed. So at the moment you can see the Prince of the Saiyans in the powerful Ultra Ego Phase 4. Haha, so much time, Kakarado. Apparently you have managed to become the Omnipotent Angel Saiyan, but even though you have that position, my power is not so far from yours. Haha, I realize that, Vegeta. When all this is over, we have to fight to know which of the two is more powerful. All the gods together, with the angels, began to head towards the center of the 18 universes, but as they were on their way, a powerful explosion occurred, while two powerful warriors would stand in front of them. To be continued.